So about 2 weeks ago, I got a few new releases in. I got this one in, as well as the new Versace Man Euphrase Extreme, which I'm going to be doing a full review of either tomorrow or the next day. But I got this one in. As soon as I smelled it, I knew going into the DNA that I was going to enjoy it. It was just what part of the DNA were they going to use? Were they going to use the DNA from the original in the Parfum or the one from the Elixir? Well, I got my answer from my first impressions of this. But now that I've worn it like a bunch of times, I mean, I really like the fragrance. What do I think of the performance and the whole smell of Ralph's Club New York, the new release by Ralph Lauren? Well, I'm going to let you know that today. So without further ado, let's get it. What's good, my great smelling dudes? Welcome back to my channel. My name's Randy, aka Fragrance Dude, back at you talking about a brand new designer release fragrance. It's been out like here and there for the last month, Dillard's, Macy's, wherever. There was a rumor that you could only pick it up at Polo outlet stores, which maybe that was like where it was released first, but that was a rumor. You can find it pretty much everywhere. I got mine from Influencer, and they kind of just pick random people and send the bottles out. So, I mean, even you guys can get it. So go try out Influencer. Before we get into the review, make sure to slap that like, hit the subscribe, all that good stuff. Appreciate you. And let's talk about the brand new Ralph's Club New York by Ralph Lauren. Very sexy bottle. It has that canteen flask style bottle that you can flip shut. And then this one's really reflective, so I have to like angle it up so you don't see the phone. With that said, it's an eau de parfum, and this one comes in a 3.7 ounce. I don't know what the other Ralph Laurens are. I have all the rest of them. For me, the EDP was nice. Obviously, it's that kind of like bubblegummy aromatic style DNA. Then you got to the Parfum, which is a more mature version, smoother version of the original. That's my favorite one from the line going into this one. There was the Elixir, which was a lot more of that kind of like orris, butter. It was a lot more grown up, a little bit smoky. I'm not a big fan of that. My wife's not a big fan of that. You either love that stuff or you don't. Some people find that to be their favorites. If you do, and you didn't like the rest of the line, then this one might not be for you. But if you are a big fan of the Parfum or that style of DNA, then you might really enjoy this. But with that said, since this is the full review, I'm going to give you guys the full note breakdown. Obviously, I do that in all my full reviews. The top notes are mandarin orange, black currant, and bergamot. Mid notes are lavender, geranium, and sandalwood. And the base notes are bourbon, vanilla, fir, and oak moss. So this line has been known for, like 6 to 10 years as this kind of sweet and fruity aromatics line. Obviously, the Elixir goes away from that. This one goes back to that. So again, fruity aromatic. You get that mandarin orange coming in. You get that black currant just blending in together. It opens up. It's very nice. It's very vibrant, but not bright. I'm wearing it as my scent of the day. This is going to be this is going to be a little bit more youthful. It's not going to be for the people who don't like the fruity fragrances. For instance, even like the kind of citrus, sweet tart, fruity fragrances that you've been coming out with the YSL Myself line, the Polo 67 line. That's still in the realm, except for instead of using that sweet tart citrus, this is using more of a citrus fruity mixture. And I actually enjoy this very, very, very much. The quality here is definitely there. It's not as synthetic as the original. It's kind of more on par with the smoothness and the quality of the Parfum, while seeming to be a little denser and a little bit more grown up. I absolutely love this. And the reason I say more grown up, because again, it's the eau de parfum was definitely more youthful. That was more, yes, you can wear it any age, but I would find that for middle school is like the best age for that. The parfum was more like 18 to 25. I would say the elixir is more like 30 to 50 range. This is more like late 20s, maybe late teens as well, but most of them you can wear at any age. But I just love the way that this feels kind of like a grown up, but also party like grown up gentleman. If you're getting off work and you want to go to the club, that's what this one feels like. This would be what I would expect Leonardo DiCaprio from Wolf of Wall Street to be wearing. Like, and so I understand why it's called Ralph's Club New York. It's a very beautiful scent, mixed with a little bit of this, again, the fruity citrus opening. And then you get that aromatic mid that you know from the first two Ralph's Clubs, the geranium, lavender, clary sage mixture that just blends together very, very beautifully. And then you get that sandalwood. I've been a huge fan of sandalwood since pretty much I started the inception of my channel. Even before that, sandalwood, if done correctly, comes off a bit creamy. I know a lot of people like the sandalwood from Stronger With You sandalwood this year. I think it's a nice fragrance. The sandalwood to me was just kind of generic. But with that said, I like creamy sandalwoods, and this one brings in that creamy sandalwood, as well as a nice, beautiful vanilla, slight smoky tone from the oak moss. But all it does is just blend together with the vanilla and the dry down to make like a smoked vanilla, similar to the smoked vanilla that you would get from one of the Most Wanteds, or maybe a little bit of Baby Cap, just not as dense. But I really enjoy this. To really dumb this fragrance down, though, the first hour to hour and a half is more of that aromatic, bubbly, fruity citrus with the aromatic backbone that you get from the geranium. But again, the aromatics, the aromatic tones that they use in the Ralph's Club, I can't speak today. The aromatic tones that they use in the Ralph's Club fragrances have more of a sweet aromatic, especially leaning heavier on the geranium, which can really come through as a more almost like semi-sweet aromatic tone. So blend that together with the black currant, that dark fruity tone, as well as the mandarin orange. Just very vibrant, but not bright, just more of a juicy opening. And I love it. Then you get more in that creamy vibe, the woodiness that does show its face a little bit in the opening, but as you get to the dry down, it really turns into more of this kind of smoked vanilla mixed together with this sandalwood, while that fruity tone just abates into the background. I absolutely love this stuff. I think that this is one of the top 5 releases of the year, both designer and niche. This isn't going to be for somebody who's more niche heavy. You really find designers, because I know there's people on my channel, I would say about 70% of people who watch my content, they'll wear Versace Dylan Blue or whatever designer fragrance of the day. Then there's like 20% of people who are kind of in the mid. Then there's this 10% of people who it's like $400 or bust. That's it. That's the kind of fragrances that they own. They don't care about designers anymore. Designers all suck. You're not going to like this. But for everybody else who enjoys designer fragrances, who enjoys the YSL Myself, the Polo 67s, the Ralph's Clubs of the world, you are very much going to enjoy this fragrance. It kind of, when in the dry down, reminds me of almost like a mixture of if you took like Ralph's Club Parfum and blended it together with like Most Wanted Parfum maybe, because that vanilla and sandalwood mixture, I mean, it's obviously not exact, but the way that they blended this together, I think is, again, a slightly more grown up party boy version, like going out after work in New York City. This smells just like that. It smells absolutely fantastic. As far as the performance, actually very, very nice. Again, with the Parfum, I had really bad issues with the performance of the Parfum until about 6 months after, when it matured and it started to smell very, 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 very good for longer periods of time. While this one, right off the bat, I got 7 hours. And so I'm 100% perfect with that. Then I smelled it the next day and the next day and the next day. I could smell it on my hoodie 3 days later. So if you spray it on clothes, you're getting days. If you spray it on skin, it's about 7 to 8 hours. But it's absolutely fantastic. I would definitely give it a try. It's an eau de parfum. That is Ralph's Club, New York. Best season of wear would be transitional seasons. That would be spring and fall. But this is a signature scent, so you could wear it in any season. If it does lean something, it would be more towards the evening. And it has about a 3 to 5 foot sillage. In the opening, it's a little bit more strong, but once that fruitiness really goes down by the wayside and gets replaced by that sandalwood and vanilla mixture, well, at that point in time, it really just becomes more of a 2 to 3 foot sillage, more of a personal bubble style. But with that said, Ralph Lauren's Ralph's Club, New York, very, very, very good fragrance. I would give it probably an 8.2 and 8.5. It's still a designer fragrance, yes, so I still can see it does smell like other things out there, like I've mentioned. But in that grouping, it's a well above average fragrance. One of the better designer releases of the year. If you like the other ones I mentioned, definitely give this one a shot. If you can't find it yet, it's still rolling out to stores, but it should be out there soon. But that's Ralph's Club New York. Let me know what your guys' thoughts are. And again, I'll be back with another one. Peace out.